Wolverine had the biggest opening of 2009, proving that comic books still rule the box office. And now, the man behind Wolverine joins us to talk about the future relationship between comics and the silver screen. It's a little thing we like to call the loop. Joining us now from an undisclosed location in Los Angeles to help us make sense of it all, the studio exec behind X-Men Origins Wolverine and the chairman and CEO of American Original, Jeff Katz. How are you, Jeff?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Congratulations on your grundle. I know you're very proud of it.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Second only to the gooch, in my opinion. Now, look, listen, Jeff, some know you as a comic writer. Some know that you're a film producer. I know you as a, quote, businessman. Because you announced a new company, American Original, and your plans are to bring the old model of comic publishing into the 21st century, which sounds great on paper. I love it. I'll visit the website. I'll click around. But what exactly does that mean?
Well, the reality is that, look, the entire entertainment industry that we know of is shifting. And I sat inside the buyer's suite in that area for a decade. And so, frankly, I've been privy to some of sort of the insider surveys and studies that we do. And really, it's not hard to sort of see how this thing is segmenting off into a place where suddenly niche audiences at all levels become incredibly important. I would equate it to sort of your cable television universe where you have a channel for everything at this point. G4 at some level obviously speaks right to this niche.
Sure.
And so what's gone on now is that the studios themselves, because the cost of making these films and really more importantly marketing these films have increased, suddenly the move to what we call pre-awareness product, which are comic books, remakes, those sort of basically everything that's announced in the trades now, are sort of the entire lifeblood of the industry.
Right. So original property is completely disregarded. If you can't Google it, if there's not a wiki for it already, a studio doesn't want to make a film about it, right?
Right. They're infinitely harder to do. Now, you take a movie like State of Play, which ironically is actually a pre-awareness title based on a BBC drama, and realistically, kids aren't going to those movies, and kids are your opening weekend movie consumer, and really, opening weekend is everything. You can pretty much extrapolate from how you perform opening weekend what your carry is with relatively close to the final number.
Well, Jeff, how is your business model, how is your company, how is that going to change this game, then?
Well, what we're basically doing, and I call it lovingly a nerd machine, and it will ultimately, by the time we're done, I would say candidly, we have not played all our cards yet, and it will be a full-service machine. But what we've done that I think is unique is because I'm in something of an odd position, both as a studio executive, film producer, and a guy who's written comics and done okay with them, that basically what we're able to do is cut out the middleman that most of these comic publishers have to deal with when they bring their properties to film or television to the internet, and basically pass that savings on to the creators in a way that I think drags the model forward and is sort of equivalent, and I put it in sort of geek terms, to what Jack Nicholson got on the first Batman, which really sort of redefined the modern film deal and is now obviously being sort of practiced in various forms, basically bringing the world of first dollar gross, in this case after what's called cash break even, into the world of comics and applying them across the life of these IPs.
Well, Jeff, you mentioned, like, you say, you know, pass the savings onto the creator, which is great, and because I think our viewers may not realize, they may not understand the terminology behind it, and they might, I'm not even familiar with half those words, but I'll agree.
It is Hollywood speak, I apologize.
Yeah, no, that's fine, because I think at the end of the day, we realize, artists, I assume that they're making a metric ton of money off these characters. The guy who made Wolverine, the guy who creates the Hulk, the guy who creates insert comic property here, I imagine he takes his private yacht or his hover pack to the premiere of his movie, and it's fine, but the way you say pass the money back to them makes it sound like they're not getting paid hand over fist for these properties.
Very simply, they're not, and I'll give you an example in that case. I had lunch with Len Wein, the creator of Wolverine, this past Friday. Len's actually made more money from his Lucius Fox character in Batman than he has over the entire life of Wolverine.
Really? He can't even spring for Quiznos off Wolverine?
Shockingly, no. I think he did get the Papa John's pizza deal, though, in promotion with the movies. I think that worked out. But at the end of the day, I mean, these are guys who have created iconic characters that have brought in billions, and that's B and plural, to these companies. And at the end of the day, I can tell you very frankly, to make low five figures on a property that's brought in billions, I mean, I would ask you, and this is to my point, the idea of a gross payout, and in our case, we're a variation which is called gross after break even, which is once we recoup the nut on the upfront on publishing, then through the life of that IP, my creatives are in a gross position. So I ask you this, what's a penny on the dollar in every piece of merchandising and in movies and in gaming on Wolverine? What would that be worth? I'm willing to bet you it's more than low five figures.
But for the record, Jeff, I dream of the day where I make a five-figure salary. So I will gladly pen the comic book. book and come right to you.
Such is the nature of cable television.
Yes, yes. But hey, we have a fancy video wall.
Yeah.
Jeff, thank you so much for joining us. I wish you the best of luck.
Thanks for having me.
For nerds everywhere, we look forward to the machine, and we appreciate your passion.
I appreciate it. Look forward to it.
Thank you.
Man.
Thanks for keeping us in the loop.